Okay, I thought I'd do something a little bit different today. As you just heard, I took off with the DJI FPV setup. And as you might see, it is very, very stormy looking out. This is the calm before the storm because there are no movement in the trees. There is absolutely no wind. It is completely calm right now. So I thought I'd get out here in the morning, take some footage before the storm hits, which should be Tropical Storm Hillary by the time it hits us. Downgraded from Hurricane Hillary. Anyways, I wanted to make this video because I wanted to kind of talk about stuff that I'm going through / been dealing with the last like 10 days. As a lot of you have been watching my channel probably know, I've been posting some flight footage again, which has been really fun. And I've been going to the field every day for the last 10 days straight in the mornings. I wake up, I grab my bag, and I go. A lot of mornings it's still difficult. It still takes me like an hour and a half or so to wake up and get my body, physically ready to go anywhere. And that's, after I've already showered the previous day, got my flight bag all ready to go the previous day. Like, essentially the last 10 days, my entire focus has been getting back to the field and flying as much as I can because I've been staying with my friend here in Woodlake while my RV is worked on in San Diego. And on that news, the RV's repair is now up to $7,000 as they are replacing the other side head gasket, or head on the motor, not the head gasket, rather. So I don't know when that's going to be fixed, and I don't know exactly how I'm going to pay for it all yet. I'm just glad it's finally getting fixed. From there, I'm hoping to try to find a place to live long / short term with the RV. But before that, I need to hopefully get the electrical fixed. There's a couple electrical issues that need to be sorted so the house power can work. But for those wondering about the RV, I'm not planning on touring with it. That's really expensive, and I don't want to make you all pay for my gas money. It's hard on me. Like my focus right now is getting the RV going, getting back to flying, finding my center again in life, and trying to rehabilitate myself in many ways. I mean, I had a rough time during COVID, as a lot of you know, and as a lot of you also may not know. And it was very, very depressing, a lot of it. Whether or not whatever you believe happened, whatever you experienced, like, it doesn't matter. It still put a huge amount of stress on everybody, and it was a fairly intense experience for me. Especially during a time when I had just gotten to the point where I was living on my own again after all of my surgical and medical issues. And I was attempting to get back to living, for the first time in my life, some normalcy in life. Have some independence and work and do normal stuff. And it was difficult, but I was, able to do it. Oh, hey, bird. Where you at, bird? Okay, good. I'm not going to chase you around. I just want to see where you're going, so I wasn't going to, bother. And so I had gotten to a really good point in my life. And then COVID hit, and then I got sick, and then my nerve pain started to become more of an issue. And that's a whole different bag of chips because, like, I've had nerve pain now that was caused by medical error for the last almost 8-9 years of my life. And I've done a lot to try to fix it. And I feel like I've done pretty much everything I can do, except maybe getting a neurostimulator installed and becoming a cyborg, or becoming a meth / heroin addict and just numbing the pain completely. Which, by the way, those are things I have not done. I became an FPV addict instead, and maybe smoked some pot. Shoot me. So it's this thing that I've struggled with health-wise, and I was finally getting better, and then I feel like I lost all of that during that time of my life. So I struggled for years to get back to a point where I was feeling me again. For the first time probably in my life, actually. And it was stripped away from me. And that sucked. And that put me in a headspace I had not been in years and was stuck in for the last couple years. And still fight with. Like, it's not completely gone. But, you know, I deal with it day by day. And I'm trying to do what I can to better myself with the resources I have. And I don't have much. Like, right now I'm staying with a friend in this beautiful area. And this spot that I'm flying at is very, very short walking distance from where I'm staying. So it's easy for me to not rely on anybody to get up in the morning and go out and fly. And this has been the most therapeutic thing I've done in years. It's better than any rehab. It's better than any physical therapy because I'm actually getting out. I'm doing something. I'm enjoying what I love. And I'm realizing there's two Zoes. There's Zoe with FPV in her life, and there's Zoe without FPV. And every day I get to fly is a day where I'm happier. A day where, and some people may not know this reference, let me fly away from myself so you can actually hear me talk. Some people may not know this reference, but spoon theory. Like, it takes me so many spoons every day to do stuff because I deal with chronic pain. I'm constantly deficient in energy. And as someone that suffers from depression and anxiety, it's like a tenfold issue, right? So like waking up in the morning, you know, I start my day with maybe like 10 spoons, right? Waking up and getting out of bed, that alone takes a spoon away. Going to the bathroom and dealing with my IBS, which even after dieting and fasting, I'm still having problems with. That's another spoon. Having to try to wake up and freshen my face and everything else and physically move around in the morning, that's another spoon. So I've already burned 3 spoons before I've gotten to the field. Putting my backpack on, getting dressed, and like getting out the door, that's another spoon, right? You can kind of see where I'm going with this. And then I get to the field. Getting to the field takes 2 spoons. It was and is still a chore for me, and it takes a lot out of me. But I'm happy in knowing that when I get here, I get to sit down by myself, relax, and find my center. And that's where I start getting spoons back. Flying FPV invigorates me. It takes a lot of, I don't know, it gets me back into a flow state. And while it doesn't give me my 5 spoons back, it gives me a few more spoons. And the spoons that it gives me are really fucking good. And it sets the tone. Like, waking up every day has set the tone for my day. And most days I'll come back completely just like dead, physically dead. Like, I will lay down for an hour to try to recover and let my nerve pain settle back down, let my body settle back down. And then I'll, you know, while I'm doing that, I'll try to get some footage offloaded, try to charge some batteries in between. But like, I go back and I lay down. And then I spend the rest of my day just trying to, you know, recover and prepare for the next morning. And it takes all of my spoons to do that right now. And I worry that, you know, I'm grateful for this because I've had this spot to fly at, but I'm not going to have this forever. This is a temporary situation, most likely. I mean, I'm hoping wherever I end up with the RV long term, I'll have a spot to fly. Because if I don't, life's going to suck a lot more. Like, I love making content. I love showcasing, you know, my experience with FPV, my 3D footage, my story about how FPV has enriched my life. And, you know, I feel like that's a huge thing that's often forgotten. And it's easy to forget that FPV is just really an amazing experience that needs to be shared with everybody. And once you do it, and once you actually understand, it's essentially a form of meditation. You're having an out-of-body experience through the form of technology. It's kind of magical. I've got a remote ID error. Actually, I'm on 43% on my battery. I'm going to bring it on in. I've been flying for almost 10 minutes. Yeah, it's just, it's difficult. Let me land real quick. I can't land and talk at the same time. Okay, I'm back up in the air. That's better now. I really like this spot. It lends itself to mid-range cruising, and it's been kind of nice to not stare at a camera while I talk into it and just fly FPV and chill while I chat. Yeah, so this spot is temporary. Like I'm scared about the future. Like I don't know when exactly in the next week, 2 weeks or whatever I'm going to be back at the RV, and from there I'm not sure where I'm going or how I'm going to get the electrical fixed, and that does scare me a little bit. But you know, as my last song, and while I still do worry, there's some things like I don't have full control over right now. What I do have control over, and this is the thing I really wanted to make the video about today, is the stuff that I am doing. The fact that I'm pushing myself to fly every day because I have this amazing spot and I have the opportunity to do so. I have the opportunity to do so. I really haven't had this kind of opportunity in the last year or more at this point, actually. And it's been great. And I'm worried that, you know, once I get back to the RV, if I can't, you know, sort things out, or if I don't, I do worry what would happen if I don't find a place. And that does bother me a lot, but I'm trying to not worry about it as much because I don't have full control over that right now. Like, the best I can do is put feelers out there, like videos like this, and talk about the fact I'm trying to find a place to park the RV and live long term, and trying to get the RV's electrical fixed, and that I'm trying to reestablish my life and reestablish my, you know, love of FPV and my videos and everything else, and try to, you know, get work within the limited ability that I'm able to. Like, those are all my end goals. How I get there, I do not know yet. But I do know if I do not communicate them to you and my audience and everyone else that cares about me, I'm going to have a lot harder time achieving them. Like getting here. The only reason I got here is because I hit a wall. I posted a video about hitting my wall. And a friend of mine reached out, said, hey, you can stay here while the RV is getting worked on. Another friend of mine reached out and said, hey, I can get you a hotel room for the night you need while you're, you know, out of the RV and trying to travel where you're going to go. Because it was like a 5-hour trip. I needed some rest in between just to be able to make sure my nerve pain wasn't too much of an issue, because it was a problem. It took me a couple days here just to get things calmed down. And that's a consistent thing for me. Trying to deal with that has been difficult, and it's hard to reach out for help. It's hard to tell people, hey, I am in this way, I am not doing well, and I need help. But that was the purpose of all the videos I posted where I'm crying or, you know, sad. Like, I hit a wall, I needed help, and unfortunately at the times, I wasn't able to get all of the help I needed exactly when I needed it, and I kind of faded. Like, I was stuck in the RV, broken down next to a person's house who's an amazing person, and I felt horrible about, and he was very kind to let me stay there with his wife, and, you know, I was in the RV with limited power, couldn't run the microwave. I could have a computer, but I couldn't play it all the time because of my health. And on top of that, I was living out of an ice chest. And I had been for like 10 months because the RV's electrical was bad and the refrigerator wasn't working. So like trying to diet, trying to take care of myself without having a working shower because electrical wasn't working. Like a lot of things in an RV are dependent on your electrical working. So it's very easy. It was very easy for me to get depressed. Paired like my situation with my health issues, and then being in a city where I started making friends, but the couple close friends that I really had moved away. And the rest of my friends were, you know, more casual in the sense where I hadn't really like formed just lifelong. I mean, yeah, like they had their own lives going on and they didn't know how to help. And so I retreated into my shell. And going out to fly was difficult. Like going out with a group of people and flying gives me anxiety right now. What I like about this is that I'm alone out here by myself in a giant empty field where I don't have to worry about being bothered, where I'm not bothering anybody. And I get to just fly my drone and be free like a bird. That was so cool. It's like they're putting on a show for me. I've never seen this happen before. That is so wild. They're not like diving at the drone, they're just flying around it. Let's see if I can get in formation. That's so weird. I'm like, I was logging and then this happened, and then I'm like, ah. So weird. I've never seen this happen before. The entire time I've been out here, I've never had a pack of birds just start flying around me like that. Oh, I love FPV. That's a moment you will only get while flying FPV. Oh, so cool. So yeah, reaching out is the only way. And videos are one of the... Oh, that's emotional. Making content is one of the few things that I love to do. And I'm naturally an introvert. So social media is a problem, and trying to like talk to everybody, try to go through hundreds of comments, try to deal with Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Like there's just so many platforms that I find myself like on and having to deal with, and that's so overwhelming. But making content and seeing people enjoy what I'm doing and see that, like, just me posting my 3D content, there's been other 3D pilots that have been inspired and stoked to see me back, and I've started pushing 3D more. Like, that's one of the positives of me still flying. And if there's one positive, that's it for me. It's been so cool to see how so many people have started pushing 3D besides just me. And the few nut jobs that watched my videos at the time. Like, it seems like the F3D community has grown by at least twofold, while the overall FPV community, I feel like, has shrunken a little bit. So I just, it's very heartwarming. And it's heartwarming to see that the, you know, tools, the props, the stuff that I've worked on to make happen and worked with companies to make because I wanted it for me to fly the way I want to fly, has made it into hands of other people that are now flying and doing really cool stuff. Like, that is so heartwarming. So, like, on one side of it, there's this, like, amazingness happening in my life that I am so grateful for. On the other side, I am fucking terrified because I don't know what the future brings. All I know is I can do what I can do every day, which at this point is flying drones and dieting. I've lost 10 pounds this past week, and I was losing weight up before this week. It's just this past week I've chosen to, like, go full hardcore on everything. I may make another video about that because the diet that I'm on is very interesting, and it is, it's been helpful for me, at least, but it's, like, very extreme. Like, I'm only eating collectively maybe, you know, no, not even a couple. I'm eating maybe like 1,200 calories every 2 days. So I'm in a severe calorie deficit, and I'm doing keto, which is something I did a long time ago and lost a bunch of weight. And now I'm trying to figure out how to do it more sustainably and eat more low carb. It's literally the one thing I can do, and yeah. I say literally the one thing. It's not the one thing, but it's one of the few things I can do every day to make myself better. And as I lose weight, I will hopefully start feeling better. But as I've noticed this past week, a lot of the issues I thought were related to food were not related to food. I'm still having GI issues. A lot of people don't know I had an ostomy and a teardown. I've had rectovaginal fistula and repair. Don't Google that. It is nasty and it is very painful. And I've had other issues that related to the, you know, those things. So, like, my insides are torn the F up from surgeries. So not eating is kind of nice. It's giving my insides a break from, I shouldn't say not eating, ADF, alternate day fasting, eating every other day. It's giving my insides a break, to heal, hopefully. And we'll see. I'm gonna continue on this path and this diet. I'm sure I'll stumble. Hopefully it's not another year before I post a video. And I'm just cruising around because I've got remote ID error, and this drone's gonna return to home at any point in time. Oh, no, it's still fixed. So yeah, I'm glad I made this video, like I made it this time, versus you staring at my face. I think it's more fun to watch FPV footage now, and I don't know if y'all are gonna watch it or not. I know YouTube's algorithm is weird, and I have no idea what it wants, and at this point in time, I'm just making content that I want to make because it's good. But yeah, I will catch you all later.